There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
Yes, Israel has said these are Hamas lies that have hoodwinked the United Nations, but I don't think very many countries and very many responsible commentators are going to be taken in by Israel's claims of defense. Extreme food deprivation, acute malnutrition, and starvation-related deaths are all present in Gaza City, and therefore it has stated that it's reached phase 5 of its starvation level, which equates to famine. There is no phase 6, and that other parts of Gaza are now in phase 4 and may well move into phase 5 in the course of the next 6 weeks. All of this, particularly the announcements coming in the last several days by the United Nations officials and the humanitarian organizations, is meant to compel the world to stop what the report itself says is a man-made famine. And the world must use all of its tools, political tools and diplomatic tools, to force Israel to end its limitations on food going into Gaza and to encourage a full and immediate ceasefire so that conditions of life can begin to be revived again for the 2 million Palestinians in Gaza. How has the announcement by the United Nations IPC that famine has now been found in Gaza City and near famine conditions in other parts of Gaza affected the International Criminal Court's review of Israel's conduct of its military campaign in Gaza? So at the International Court of Justice, the case is whether or not Israel as a country, as a state, has engaged in genocide during its military campaign against Gaza. And at the International Criminal Court, the case is whether or not individuals in the Israeli political and military campaign have used starvation as a weapon of war against the Palestinians. In both cases, the 60-page report that was released this past week, which found starvation in Gaza City and high levels of starvation in other parts of Gaza, will, I'm sure, be part of the documentation that both courts will be considering as they mount their separate cases of litigation against Israel as a country and against Israeli political and military leaders. The hope is that at the International Criminal Court, the arrest warrants against Benjamin Netanyahu and Yov would have sent a shot across the bow of Israel to stop what it was doing, stop its military campaign, to agree to a permanent ceasefire, and to allow conditions of humanity to be resumed in trying to rebuild civic life in Gaza. That hasn't happened. And that hasn't happened because the global north, the countries who are working and have strong influence with Israel, have not used their diplomatic and economic tools to sanction Israel and to try to get it to stop the way in which it's been conducting its war. First and foremost, obviously, is the role of the United States, both under the Biden administration and now under the Trump administration, in continuing to supply Israel with many of the weapons of war that it is using during its military campaign in Gaza. But this also includes Europe, countries like my own, Canada, who have maintained strong diplomatic relations, strong economic relations, and strong weapon trading relationships with Israel. All of this needs to be sanctioned. Israel has not paid a cost with respect to its 58-year-old occupation, nor its 23-month-old war on Gaza. Only when it suffers, if you like, or endures a significant economic, political, and diplomatic cost will it change its behavior and bring itself back within international law again.